Hey everybody, Fox Rose here, and I know this is a little bit of a crazy deal, because tomorrow is the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, well, 20th birthday of Pokemon, really. And I say tomorrow because I'm recording this on the 26th, and this video will be going up tomorrow at the time of recording this, but today of the 27th. Reason being, I probably won't be around. I'll probably be playing the original games on 3DS for a long while to come. And I apologize for poor camera quality. I'm processing the next couple episodes for the Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth game right now. I'm not quite up to par. And so, what am I going to do for this wonderful occasion? Well, I've been thinking about it. And then I came to the conclusion that I should just show what Pokemon has been to me for basically my whole life. So, this is just an on-hand collection of all of the Pokemon games that I got. And, yeah. I'm not going to be showing anything else besides the games, solely because the fact that it's been a part of my life, for a major part of my life, really, and I figured the best way to show off my love for it is to show off the true love I have for it, for all the games that I have gotten over my life. This is going to seem like a stupid kind of video, but it's a different kind of video for a special day tomorrow, and I hope everyone can understand why I'm doing this. And keep in mind, every single game that I have here, with two exceptions, I have literally played through the whole game's story, at least, and enjoyed them immensely for what they are, and as a whole, I can't thank them enough for being in my life. The only two exceptions being, well, the two that I'm holding right now, actually. So, without further ado, let's get started with the actual stuff. The first two games that I'm going to showcase are the original cartridges, yes, original cartridges of Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Crystal. Yep, I have the original cartridge for Yellow. I'm still going to be getting the re-release on the 3DS, though, solely because, as we learned today, Pokemon Sun and Moon can get the Pokemon from Yellow, Red, and Blue's re-releases on the 3DS through the Pokemon Bank and such, and I figure, well, I'm going to be buying them anyway, I may as well train them. So yeah, Yellow and Crystal, first two on the list. The next one is a whole batch from the second generation. And keep in mind, the only physical copy game I have of the first generation is Yellow, so we're just going to go through the generations as a whole. First up, we're going to do a random one, Pokemon Puzzle Challenge. It's basically Pokemon Puzzle League, but for the second generation of Pokemon games, and other than that, it's a really fun game. I recommend it if you're a puzzle fan, especially a Tetris fan. And then, this next batch will show just how much of a Joe Toddler I really am. Two cartridges of Pokemon Silver and one cartridge of Pokemon Gold. One of the Pokemon Silver cartridges actually still works with a battery. The other two do not. So, and that's all the games I have for the second generation. The third generation is going to be a lot smaller than, well, actually, they're all about the same size. In fact, Generation 3 is probably the biggest one, honestly. But keep in mind, I did have Fire Red, Leaf Green, and Emerald, but I sold them. Solely because Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire were coming out. I wanted to basically sell all the other ones. And I could sell all but Ruby and Sapphire. And so, of course, I still have Ruby and Sapphire. And the first one that I actually ever beat was Sapphire. Believe it or not, Sapphire was the first Pokemon game I ever got to the Elite Four and beat the Elite Four with. Steven, man, you were one tough cookie. Now, a couple spin-off games that aren't in the ordinary Pokemon format at all. Pokemon Pinball Ruby and Sapphire Edition. And of course, one of the games that started the whole sub-series, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Red Rescue Team. I have, and I know I had, I don't know if I still have it, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team for the DS. I don't remember if I do, but it's not on hand. So, yeah, I know that much. And then two of my console favorite Pokemon games ever, and there haven't been a ton of great Pokemon games on the consoles, so keep that in mind, are my first GameCube game ever, and the first GameCube game I ever bought with my own money at full retail price, the Pokemon Shadow games, the Shadow Pokemon games. Colosseum, which was my first GameCube game ever. I got it with the GameCube. And Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, which was the first one I ever bought with my own money. And holy crap, I remember playing the hell out of these games, and I still do from time to time whenever I'm bored. It's not like I can beat them like in an hour, because if you've ever played a Pokemon game, you know you can't beat a Pokemon game in an hour. Unless it's one of those stupid puzzle ones. Regardless, it's still an insane thing to do, and I love these games to death. I'm going to resume Let's Playing this at some point. I know it's been a long time since we did start the Let's Play, but this will be coming back, guys. I don't know when. It will be coming back soon. Maybe I'll start it probably after I beat one of the first releases. But other than that, I got nothing for that right now. So, yeah. That concludes Generation 3. Generation 3. And so, if anyone's noticed a pattern yet, I'm going in generational order. So what does this mean? Well, basically it means I'm going through each and every single one of the Pokemon games in the order of the generation revealed. So, that means that the next generation is Generation 4. I have every single one of the original Generation 4 games. I have Pokemon Diamond, Pokemon Pearl, I even have Pokemon Platinum, and of course, the remakes that stole my heart, I have Pokemon Heart Gold and Soul Silver. These two games, these two are quite literally some of the only ones I actually restart from time to time in the main series. And why is that? Well, I'm a huge Pokemon fan. I've been a fan of Pokemon since I was a wee little kid. And the original games that I started out playing on were probably Pokemon... Oh god, I can't think of it now. The Nintendo 64 game. I can't think of what those were. Stadium. That's the one. Stadium. I freaking love playing the heck out of those, and those were my first Pokemon experience as the games. And the first couple of Game Boy games I ever played were Gold and Silver. And believe it or not, which one is it again? Yeah. This Pokemon Silver cartridge is the exact same one that I had ever since I was a real little kid. I have never gotten rid of this. It still plays very well. I think the battery's dead, but other than that, it still plays fantastically, and I can never stop playing it whenever I do start playing. And since the battery is dead in that, it only made sense that I played the crap out of these two when I got them. And sure enough, I still do. Whoops. I still do play the crap out of these whenever I get the chance, and I can't thank Game Freak enough for remaking them. Now for Generation 5, I've got Black and White. It's not always black and white. Your heart always knows what's right. I'm such a dork, I know. Shush. And believe it or not, these two games actually mean a lot to me because the day I got these is the same day that I'm about to get very real right now. So if you don't like real stories and you don't know this about me yet, I please ask you to be patient with this moment because this is a very heart-touching moment for me. Very hard to talk about, actually, because I brought these up, but now I got to. The day that these games released in North America was the exact same day that my mother was released from the hospital from having a brain tumor removal. Keep in mind, I was a freaking wreck the whole few days prior. Not because I was anxious to get these games, but I was anxious because I didn't know if she was going to make it alive or not. And I freaking love my mother to death. I make her a cup of coffee every single morning. She is a very big part of my life now. And I can't thank her enough for being a part of my life. As for why it means so much to me, I was literally playing these games the moment I saw her in the hospital, which, looking back, that was very selfish of me. I probably should have been just helping her dearly at the time. But what's done is done. She's a lot better now. Thank Lord that she didn't have the brain tumor remain in her head, because we found out at a later date that it had cancerous cells in it. It was a sac that had cancerous cells, so thankfully she made it out all right. I'm sorry. I might cry. I love my mother very dearly, and these games just keep reminding me of it. So no matter what, as much as time may progress and everything, I'm never going to get rid of these games. Gen 5 is actually my second favorite generation, and those are just a few reasons why. I'm really glad that she made it alive. I really am. Sorry for that sad moment, everybody. The next thing is actually one that a lot of people tend to like for some reason. I had both, but I sold the other version to Procrastinator Dave, who's been on the show before, actually, and really enjoys doing the commentary with me, so thank you very much, Dave. If at some point we actually get recording software for the 3DSs, we'll probably do like a Versus series on these. But Pokemon Black 2, I sold him White 2 because he didn't have one, and I was like, yeah, I can probably grab whatever I don't have from White already. So I just sold him my copy, and everything worked out pretty fine. He is still a pretty good avid Pokemon player, even though he doesn't have too many up-to-date Pokemon games. He only gets one at a time. But he really does love the Pokemon series just as much as everybody else. And it's crazy to believe how far some of these things go. Sorry. Now then, for the generation that is most current and everybody is knowing right now, Generation 6 with X and Y. Holy crap. As much as I love the way that X and Y has been going and made the games go in the direction they're going in, I love them, but they are not perfect. There's not enough post-game content, and yeah, they're made really for the competitive people, especially X and Y out of Generation 6 have been made for competitive people. But I'm not really competitive. I just play through the games because I love the games. And I can't thank Game Freak enough for making such an amazing generation. It's not my favorite. Johto and Generation 2 still have my number one, but They're definitely in the top 3. In fact, my top 3, Generation 2, Generation 5, and Generation 6. Yeah, that's probably true. And then the other 2 Generation 6 games, the ones that everyone is either playing or is obsessive over right now, Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. And yes, I did just show them the other way around, just so I could stop saying ORAS. Instead of ORAS, it's ASOR. I had to say it at least once, everybody. Now, I'm loving these games because they're another big nostalgia bomb for me, too, because, like I said a little while back, Pokemon Sapphire was the first Pokemon game I ever beaten and ever really played obsessively as a kid, because, yes, I had Gold and Silver and all that, but they weren't my first real Pokemon games to play as on the Game Boy, because I had the Game Boy Advance, the Flip Game Boy, for my first Game Boy ever. And one of my aunt's friends actually gave me Pokemon Sapphire. And this was their copy of Pokemon Sapphire that they gave me, and it still works. The battery has run dry on it, but other than that, it still works fine, and I love it to bits. As for the 2 of these games, only Pokemon games I haven't actually beaten right off. I don't know why it's always the remakes that always take me longer. Probably because I've beaten them in the past and I just want to do something different this time around. And that's definitely the case here. That, and I think also since I've beaten these games before, I'm not as anxious to beat them again. I mean, don't get me wrong, I want to get to the Delta episode. But I just haven't had the desire to. Maybe I will after I get the new games and my love for Pokemon is re-sparked, but other than that, I don't know. Because it seems like I love the Pokemon games to a point, and then it takes a certain game to make me appreciate it yet again, and go from there. And it definitely seems like the new games coming out tomorrow will do that for me. So, yeah. So thank you all so much for watching today's video. Happy birthday, Pokemon! Holy crap, you have influenced my life in so many different ways, and I cannot thank you enough. I really can't. You've literally kept me alive in many different situations, and you've made me the person who I am today. You, Digimon, certain anime, and Kingdom Hearts have all made me what I am today. But you've definitely been the most influential, because if it wasn't for Pokemon, I probably would never have gotten into all this stuff, in all honesty. In fact, when I was a real little kid, Pokemon's actually what got me to speak. It's what got me to read, speak, and I believe even write. I don't remember. But, yeah. So thank you all, everybody. If you liked the video, hit the like button. Comment in the comment section with all your tips, tricks, and all that stuff. And maybe we can spark a discussion this time. I don't know. Since it's the 20th anniversary of Pokemon, I may be running a little something special tomorrow. I don't know yet. Favorite the video if you like. Who the heck favorites videos these days? Subscribe if you're new. And as always, rock and rolla, dudes and vixens. Or dudes and Brixens. I don't know. You pick.